One of the unexpected topics of conversation at the Spanish Grand Prix was engine modes. We didn't really expect to be talking about it very much. It's something I've been studying since the start of the season, but I didn't really see this one coming because the FIA have banned the use of high engine modes, or so-called party modes. It's the end of the party in Formula One, or at least the party mode. Now, what does that mean? Party mode is something you've heard Mercedes talk about for a number of seasons. It means they turn up the engine, they use the hybrid system differently, they push the power unit to its absolute maximum, and they don't worry about any wear and the life of the power unit, which of course they have to get maximum out of at the end of the season, otherwise you get penalties. But they absolutely push it for a single lap in qualifying, and that's why you suddenly see in the third qualifying segment a car suddenly going 8-9 tenths of a second quicker on a lap than it's previously done. Or at the end of a race, like Lando Norris did in the first Austrian Grand Prix of the season, he suddenly hit that overtake button. That was McLaren and Renault's version of party mode. Just get that extra power, the extra performance at the end of the race, and it was the fastest lap. But I thought I'd show you what it actually means in terms of engine speed on a single lap. And this is Nico Hülkenberg's data in terms of engine speed, the RPM, from the Racing Point. It's a Mercedes in the back of that car, of course. Now, on this is from the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, and you've got two lines on the screen. You've got a pink line at the top. That's the Racing Point set to party mode, and that was done in qualifying 3. And then you've got the white line, same circuit, same race meeting, but that was Nico Hülkenberg in the middle of the race, and when he was on one of the long runs later on, trying to save the tyres. The difference here, it's nothing down to driver style. You'll see a little bit of variance because of that, but the big difference here is the engine mode. And you can see how the pink line is consistently much, much higher than the white line because the engine and the power unit is set to a different mode. Now, let's take a closer look at one of the sections of track around Silverstone, and you can see the white line and the pink line are most of the time aligned, but the pink line just peaks out at the top on a couple of points. On every straight, on every corner, the pink line is a little bit higher, and that's because Hülkenberg was able to use a little bit more RPM on each of those sections in qualifying. Then you look at this section of the lap, and the difference is night and day. So down here, that's the race RPM, and down up here is the qualifying RPM. That's about a 200 or 300 RPM difference between maximum and minimum, and it's this the FIA want to outlaw. They don't want teams to be able to go into qualifying or go into that final lap of the race and turn their engine from this basic mode, the white mode, to the so-called party mode, the high mode of the engine, and go up to those much higher RPMs. That has real impact in terms of the power unit development going forward in the season. The engine development has all been about using these different engine modes, and that's going to create a little bit of a curveball, a little bit of a headache for teams. And it will also mean you won't be able to use that overtake button as you go around the lap. The detailed regulations, not yet out, but I think it could be a massive change for the sport.